As I read through the pages of one of the many Harry Potter books I have, my mind was creating the scenes I was reading. My fingers were stuck in between the pages, my ears shutting all sound from my surrounding. I was stuck, rather, immersed in the story. It was also vivid and brilliant. It was as if I was that little boy in that unimaginable world. Books, especially Harry Potter, have helped me shape my meaning of literacy to be more than just books. They have helped me define this new meaning by the way they make me shut down my surrounding and immerse me in another's own thoughts, feelings, and ideas. But it was not always like that. If you would have asked me as a little boy what literacy meant to me, I would have simply replied with books. I was so wrong to think like that. But fortunately, during my childhood, I was surrounded by persons and books that helped me shape my meaning of literacy to a better one. The meaning was not just about books anymore, it was more than that. Literacy became a way for people to voice their opinions, ideas, feelings, in ways that could impact other people's thinking. This new meaning, of course, did not come to me in a single day. Rather, it was an experience through years that led up to my new definition. And one of these experiences was with my kindergarten teacher, who taught me how to read. And after having acquired such a great skill that was reading, you could easily find me in my room reading short stories, mostly in my native language, which is Spanish. I didn't learn English until later on in my life. This love for reading took me to many unimaginable adventures. But a single adventure, a book in particular, amongst the many I have read, is the one responsible for shaping my literacy to the point where it is right now. This book was Harry Potter. I first came across the Harry Potter book series as I entered the store with my dad to buy some things that we needed for the house. As my dad was browsing through products, I aimlessly walked through the store trying to find something that could entertain me, because I hated shopping. After some time of pointlessly walking around the store, I stumbled upon the small book section. It had all sorts of books, but the one that interested me the most was the one that had a little boy with a broomstick. I begged my dad to buy it for me, and since he did not want to hear me nag, he did so. Little did he know about the friendship I would eventually develop with the books. When I first started reading the story about this kid, Harry Potter, it felt like such a surreal experience. And I was so immersed in it that hours could literally fly by and I would still be reading. When I finished the first book, I easily convinced my dad to get me the other two, and I read through them with no notion of time. It took me less than a week before I was done with them, and I still wanted to read more of the story, and by the time book 4 was out, it was only in English. In my school, they taught English classes, but I certainly did not feel prepared to embark in such a monumental task as that was at the time. I didn't think I was going to be able to read that whole book and be able to understand it as much as I did with the Spanish version of the book. But having loved the story so far up until that point, I decided to go for it, and started reading the fourth book in English. When I first started reading it, it was one of the most wonderful experiences I ever had. Being able to read in another language, but not just that, also being able to comprehend it and being able to understand most of what was being written. It was just like starting to learn how to read all over for me. This fourth book changed everything about my views of English. It opened my eyes to the endless possibilities and beauties of a language. It made me appreciate my own language and other people's languages. It was an eye-opener. Since then, I have finished all the Harry Potter books, have watched all the movies, and have embarked in many other reading journeys that have taken me to other great adventures, new experiences, and have certainly expanded my literacy. But it all started with one book that helped me become more fluent in another language and has inspired me to learn a third, which is French. And I can't also stop to think how amazing little things such as a book can shape and change a person's views, opinions, life, and interests, especially your own literacy. It has helped me define it again, as a way in which people share every feeling, thought, or story and influence your thinking. That is what Harry Potter taught me throughout the years. So, if you ask me now what literacy means to me, I can proudly say more than just books.